Hello. How are you doing?
It was just an ordinary day on the Labour campaign trail. The Prime Minister out and about meeting real people, including one voter who was invited to put her complaints directly to Gordon Brown.
You're a very good woman. You've served the community all the life.
I have. I've worked for the Rochdale Council for 30 years.
You deserve...
And I work with children and handicapped children.
Oh, well, I think working with children is so important, isn't it? So important.
And
have you been at some of the children's centres?
What I can't understand is why am I still being taxed at 66-year-old because my husband's died and I have some of his pension tagged onto my pension.
Well, we're raising the threshold at which people start paying tax as pensioners. But yes, if you've got an occupational pension, you may have to pay some tax, but you may be eligible for the pension credit as well. You should check.
No, I'm not. I've checked and checked, and they said no, they can't do it.
Well, you should look at it again just to be sure.
How are you going to get us out of all this debt, Gordon?
We've got a deficit reduction plan, cut the debt by half over the next 4 years. We've got the plans, they've been set out to do it. Look, I was a person who came in and...
Three main things what I was drummed in when I was a child with mine was education, health service, and looking after people who are vulnerable.
And that's what my life...
But there's too many people now who aren't vulnerable, but they can claim, and people who are vulnerable can't get claimed.
A local resident, Mrs Duffy, echoed the concerns of many about the numbers arriving in the UK from overseas.
6 months.
You can't say anything about the immigrants because you're saying that but all these Eastern Europeans what are coming in, where are they flocking from?
1 million people come from Europe, but 1 million British people have gone into Europe. You do know there's a lot of British people staying in Europe as well. Look, come back to what your initial principles, helping people. That's what we're in the business of doing. A decent health service, that's really important, and education. Now, these are the things that we have tried to do. We're going to maintain the schools so that we can make sure that people have that chance to get on. We're going to maintain the health service so that
what's he going to do about students who are coming in now? All this that you've had to pay, you scrap that, Gordon.
Which one?
Help students go on to university.
Or tuition fees?
Yes.
Yeah, but we've got 40...
I'm thinking about my grandchildren.
I know, but...
What will they have to pay to get into university?
You've got 40% of young people now going to university, haven't you?
More than ever.
More than ever. So you've got to have some balance. If you get a degree and you earn twice as much after you get the degree, then you've got to pay something back as a contribution. But there are grants for your grandchildren. There are grants, more grants than ever before. You know, more young people are going to university than ever before, and for the first year, the majority of people going to university are women, so there's big opportunities for women. And so education, health, and helping people, that's what I'm about. That's what I'm about.
Well,
you've had the chance.
And I hope you keep it up.
It's been very good to meet you. It's been very good to meet you. And you're wearing the right colour today.
It looked as if the two had parted on good terms, but Mr Brown was still wearing the microphone that Labour had requested Sky News attached to his lapel.
That was a disaster. Well, just... Okay. Should never have put me with that woman. Whose idea was that?
I don't know, I didn't see.
It's Sue, I think. They're just ridiculous.
I'm not sure they'll go with that one.
They will go with it.
What did she say?
Everything. She's just a sort of bigoted woman that said she used to be Labour. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They will go with it. Everything.
Her face says it all.
Said she used to be Labour.
Well, what do you think about that, Mrs Duffy? Disgusted.
Now, you said to me before that you were a Labour supporter. I mean, what's this done to that?
I don't think I'll vote. I don't think I'll vote now. It's a postal vote and I don't have to send it in. He's just absolutely... Well, he's shut me down completely.
What was your opinion?
Very upsetting, that.
Because I spoke to you immediately after the exchange, and you seemed happy with the answers that he'd given you.
What did I say to be bigoted there? What was bigoted in that, what I said? I just asked about national debt.
When his own words were replayed, Mr Brown clearly realised the gravity of the situation.
Of course she's allowed to express her view, and I was saying that. The problem was that I was dealing with a question that she raised about immigration, and I wasn't given a chance to answer it because we had a whole melee of press around her. But of course I apologise if I've ever said anything that has been offensive, and I would never put myself in a position where I would want to say anything like that about a woman I met. It was a question about immigration that really I think was annoying. No, I'm blaming myself, and I blame myself for what is done.
But given the media attention, it was almost inevitable that he'd have to deliver that apology in person. There are good days and there are bad days during every election, but it is rare indeed that a party leader would break away from campaigning, come to the home of just one voter and issue what must surely be a grovelling apology. The two spoke for close to an hour.
I've just been talking to Gillian. I'm mortified by what's happened. I've given her my sincere apologies. I misunderstood what she said, and she has accepted that there was a misunderstanding, and she's accepted my apology. If you like, I'm a penitent sinner. Sometimes you say things that you don't mean to say, sometimes you say things by mistake, and sometimes when you say things, you want to correct it very quickly. So I wanted to come here and say to Gillian, I was sorry, to say that I'd made a mistake, but to also say I understood the concerns that she was bringing to me, and I had simply misunderstood some of the words that she used.
Mrs. Duffy understandably decided not to talk. This was, after all, the end of a very long day. This had been an attempt to counter the criticism that the Prime Minister only speaks to his supporters, which has backfired spectacularly. One lifelong Labour supporter says Mr Brown has lost her vote. How many more will follow suit?